Our world.
I'm just here for you, Poppy.
I like that. That's how the stream starts. Fantastic, positive energy here. We all love you too, Katie. It's all whole love trifecta here.
Will just flirts with you and Matt and Jesus and Pretty Kyle
and Justin.
Yeah, there's many a people.
Yeah, Will likes to get around, but that's okay. We don't slut shame out here, nor do we classify that. That's just kind of like the terminology that I kind of like came up with initially. But yeah, Will just likes to have a good time and meet new people. That's how I classify
it. Hi, Allison.
Of course, Allison's the first one. Hey, how's it going, Allison? We'll be starting soon. I'm just getting some spits and or swallows lined up because I didn't get a chance to write them down. I'm sure.
Basically, Vince is saying he's not prepared.
I'm never prepared. The story of my life is I wing everything. I wing my relationships. I wing everything I do in video games. I wing it when I drive. Everything, just about everything in life.
I feel like some of those things you probably shouldn't wing. I'm just gonna be honest here.
It's like Vince having a set. You know what? It's funny because when I first moved here, I had this setup, but it was this plain emptiness of depression in the back. But now I got the bookshelf up with some Funkos displaying. I got the coffee table. I got my NXT chairs. I'll add
not on the casting couch.
Well, I thought it was a fun little gag that's my thing. But, I don't know. We didn't get a casting couch t-shirt, so maybe I should just move on.
I have no control over that.
You could put it on your site.
No.
Why not?
That has nothing to do with me. I'm in my bedroom in a gaming chair that I built myself. I don't have a casting couch.
You built the gaming chair you have?
Yeah.
That's cool. I need to get a gaming chair. I'm using this old computer desk chair that I have.
This was $150 or something at Staples.
Nice. That's good. Might look into that. Wait, you said 150? That's not bad.
It was on sale. I don't know what it originally is. I have a little ottoman underneath my desk that I put my feet up because.
What about you, Will?
I consistently move.
What do you currently use to place your buttocks while you record a podcast?
Why did you say that?
I have a chair.
It's like a regular chair, like a wooden handcrafted chair.
No,
he built it himself.
No, it's just a black standard.
It's an office chair.
Yeah, it's an office chair.
Okay,
I got you.
What would you call this? An ergonomic chair?
An
ergonomic chair?
Yeah, that we got at Goodwill for $20.
Yeah, we got it at Goodwill for $20.
Whoa, who's that disembodied voice? That's crazy.
There's a ghost in Will's house, just like there's a ghost in my apartment. Except my ghost doesn't.
No, you dead ass have a ghost though, Vince.
Is it Smackin It Raw on Instagram, just like it is on Twitter?
No, it's Creation World uniform.
ITSCREATIA World.
It's on the screen.
World.
Okay.
There it is.
I know the spiel.
Link in bio.
Oh.
There. I shared it.
Did you?
I did.
Proud of you.
And I put it up. I'm ready, Poppy, whenever you are. It's your world now.
All right, I'm going to start this up then. Let me just get rid of the little banner. It's a pet peeve of mine that we leave the banners and stuff while we do the intro, and I always forget to do it every single week. So, making an effort. All right.
I think you're perfect, Vince.
Oh my God.
Let's get it started.
No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the Smackin It Raw Podcast, the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub. I don't have a catchy porn innuendo related to wrestling because I'm not the Warden Matt Ritter, but I am your host today, the Pornhub Poppy, the Salt and the Spitter Swallow, Daddy Delgado, SES Vince. But I'm not here alone. I'm here with fellow Pornhub Poppy, the host of the She Showcase. She is the mind of Inside the Mind of, and the hardest working woman in podcasting today. Of course, I'm talking about Miss Katie Kinzy Bay Bay.
That's me. I have many other nicknames too, but I have advocates and special counselors who do that. So
Salting a step on me as well. She has stickers. So if
That's
you
what
like,
I heard.
yeah, that's what I heard. And if you hear that voice, obviously we're not here alone. We are joined by a very special guest. He is the host of the Botch Spots and Chair Shots podcast. He is a chef by trade and a mark by choice. The Will Gray. Will, how you doing, man?
I was so excited when you messaged me. And I was sitting there, and it was at the end of SmackDown, and I was like, yes, yeah. I can't wait. Let's go. I'm going to be on Smackin It Raw tonight.
I literally DM'd Will right after Matt told me that he couldn't make it because of work. And I told him, like, hey, do you want to Smack It Raw live with me tonight at midnight on Pornhub? And he said yes. So
yes. Zero questions asked.
Anyways, like I said, we are live currently right now on youtube.com/creationworld and live also on twitch.tv/creationworld. So if you're not following us already there, so go ahead and follow us, turn on bell notifications, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Guys, before we get into the spits and the swallows, quick shout out to Allison in the chat. Shout out to Kofi Wheatston in the chat as well. But let's start with some news and rumors. Katie, I don't have anything lined up, so like Matt does every single week, I'm just going to pivot it on over to you.
It's almost like I have a show that I do the day before this.
Yeah.
Where I also talk about news and rumors, but the majority of those news and rumors that I talk about on my show happen within the shows. Ergo, I will not talk about them because they can be spits or swallows, but I do have two little pieces of information. First and foremost, the original, King and Queen of the Ring tournament pay-per-view that was going to be in Saudi, they said, now we're going to scrap the name and we're going to make a Night of Champions. I don't know what that entails. Who knows? That show is called She Showcase, Travis, in case anybody was wondering.
Travis over here wondering.
Travis was there.
What's the show called?
He was there.
Yeah.
He was in the chat yesterday. Oh.
Really?
Okay. Well, I mean, he was there in the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/She Showcase.
Okay.
I don't do the StreamYard thing, so I'm not live on youtube.com/She Showcase either, but you can watch things after the fact there.
Yeah, exactly.
What a guy. Yes, I don't know what this Night of Champions pay-per-view is going to entail. Obviously nothing is set in stone. We literally have Backlash in a month, less than. So, with the draft in 2 weeks, confirmed. Fucking why? I don't know. That was a whole conversation last week. And then the other thing is Dark Side of the Ring's coming back.
Yes.
We're all excited. We love some Dark Side of the Ring.
They're gonna do an episode about Doink the Clown, Matt Bourne. How fucking cool!
There's episode about that. Episode about Sunny and her ex-husband,
Chris Candido.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all like I know things. I'm just trying to remember things off the top of my head.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
I was gonna say Bam Bam Bigelow's the other name that sounds familiar. I don't know. I can't remember everything off the top of my head.
Magnum TA is another one.
Mike Awesome.
Yeah, and Mike
Sandman.
Awesome. Sandman was another one.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah, there you go. There, Abby. I think that was all of them. That was all.
I think we got them all. Good job, guys.
Oh, between the three of us, we nailed it.
Go team.
The former alumni got it.
I fucking love Dark Side of the Ring. Some of them just had me crying. They were real intense, real sad. But it's so interesting how they shoot it. The silhouetted reenactments, big words for your girl over here. It's just everything like that stuff, getting people who were there and instances. Wow, okay, see, I fucked up. I don't know how to speak. But about Dark Side of the Ring, fantastic. We all have been clamoring for season 4. And they said, ask, we're going to hold off for a while and telling you, but now you shall receive.
I'm excited. I can't wait to watch them on YouTube because I don't have Vice on my YouTube TV subscription. So yeah, whenever it hits YouTube, I'll be watching.
I'm just gonna watch it on cable.
Yeah. I'll watch it all. I don't think brand splits really matter. Going back to the draft, and I wrote that down, and then I wrote down Abby is a legend, and Nick Gage wakes up wishing he was Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh my god,
that's hilarious. Well,
apparently Nick Gage got new teeth. That's information I saw on Twitter. He got new teeth and a dog. I don't know.
Do they look like Roman's teeth when he got new teeth?
Not fully, Roman's pearly white veneers, but like they look nice. Pretty good teeth. That's what they're called. They're called veneers.
Really? Oh, yeah. Never heard that phrasing before. But then again, I don't have that much of a wide vocabulary. However, but you know what? Look. And contrary to what Will's saying, I am actually looking forward to this draft. I do believe that brand splits believe they're real. They could be real. Look,
it's not going to be.
I like to be optimistic until proven wrong. The only time I'm very pessimistic is with the Chicago Bulls because I hope that my pessimism leads to positive things. Tonight was not the case. But with the draft, I like drafts. I think they're fun. One of my earliest memories was watching, the 04 draft, where John Cena goes in, grabs a ping pong ball or whatever, and drafts Triple H over to SmackDown. And then we get Triple H versus Eddie Guerrero in the main event of Raw in 04. And then we get the brawls between all the rosters. It's funny stuff. Watching Triple H find out he gets drafted and then do a spit take. Great stuff. Funny content.
that was always the best part about the drafts, like from back then, is like showing everyone in one room and seeing the reactions being like Undertaker was getting up shots. And fucking
the war room shots with the
where it was like robot. Flair and Arn in one room, and it was like Vince and Bruce in another room, and they were like arguing about who the best available was, and then they'd pick up the phone and call like they weren't in the same fucking arena.
No, they were not. What are you talking about? Come on now.
No, yeah, it was all fun stuff, but we'll see. In terms of the Night of Champions pay-per-view, I don't know if they'll still do the King and Queen of the Ring tournament there. I highly doubt it, but weren't a lot of people complaining that they didn't want to do that those tournaments in Saudi? So why not do the Clash of Champions pay-per-view there?
Well, now someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really watch the Saudi pay-per-views because I'm usually at work when they come on. But didn't they crown Xavier and Zelina in Saudi?
They did.
Like, weren't the finals?
They did last year, yeah.
They did, yes.
So that's probably how it'll be this time. It'll probably be like all the championship matches, and then King, Queen. Okay, that's what I'm hoping, guys. We're hoping here. We're hoping. We can dream.
Shout out to JJ in the chat saying this right here is a new multicultural category for the hub. So shout out to JJ.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. Is there anything else you got, Kitty? Or do you want to just
that's literally it.
All right. So I think it's only fair that we transition over to Spit or Swallow and we let Will get the first honors here. I'm not going to do what Matt does and just pick people at random because I want to actually keep some order here because I can't. I need to be able to follow along. So
you can't multitask.
We've established this, which is why I need multiple assistants. We'll start off with Will. We'll go with Katie. I'll round things out, and then we'll continue going until we can no longer spit and or swallow.
So what you're saying is you and I are the bread in this sandwich. So I'm going to start off with a softball.
He said on the change topics immediately.
From it's after dark, whatever. I'm going to start with a softball of a swallow and that is the new women's tag team champions on Raw, Raquel and Liv. For a long time, I said Liv Morgan was the walking example of why the women's division needs a mid-card title in WWE, because she's not quite ready enough to be a world champion. She had a decent little thing, but it wasn't like she's not ready to be the face of the company for, long-term wise. So I felt like for a long time, Liv was the person that said, okay, this is why we need a mid-card title. Now, with there being a little bit of a rise in the women's division, I like that they're giving these two a chance to have this mid-card belt and elevate it some. Because now that they have it, you get the story with the oldies and the goodies, Lita and Trish versus Becky and whoever, Bailey, or however they decide to tie all this mess in. So you get some like integrated stories into it, but also get the belt on two mid-card wrestlers that deserve a push.
Yeah. I mean, and like we saw on SmackDown, team, Adam Pearce called him something, but I can't remember now.
The complaint committee?
Yeah, the complaint committee. Sonya Deville, Chelsea Green, coming out and being like, all right, well, since Ronda and Shayna aren't gonna fucking do anything, we're going to, we want next dibs on it. So, I mean, it works. I'm okay with the team. It makes sense. They're doing something with the titles.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna say this. I like their promo that they delivered on SmackDown, especially the little innuendos that were throwing in there. I'm a fan of innuendos and slight remarks like that. Like they were talking to each other like it was me and Will out there performing the promo on SmackDown. But I am going to spit them winning the titles, and that's mostly specifically because of Raquel. I don't like Raquel for very specific non-wrestling related reasons that I'm not going to go into here.
January 6th.
But
cough on while you're laughing.
But it's mostly that I'm glad the Liv got the title. Sure, I'm not a fan of this tag team, but I'm just betting because of Raquel. If you substitute Raquel with just about anyone that isn't her or Lacey Evans, I might be okay with this team. But yeah, no.
Should have been Shotzi. But we're missing the main thing here. To swallow. Trish turned heel, guys. This is what we wanted.
We shouldn't be spitting or swallowing anything involving Trish Stratus or Lita in a storyline in 2023.
No, we should.
They should be a one-off for a bot show like in Saudi or something. The constant booking of legends in your storylines implies that you don't have faith in your current generation of stars, because you're bringing them in and you're monopolizing. And every one of us in this room right now have complained about the amount of time that the women's division is getting on national TV. And at the same time, instead of giving that time to young up-and-coming stars, they're bringing in legends and booking them. We don't need to be celebrating Lita and Trish past that. They've had their time. Give somebody else the time now.
I mean, this is more than likely the last run of both of them. And you're right. They don't utilize their women. In recent-ish, I don't have like a time frame here. Recent-ish weeks, we are getting more than one women's match on Raw because it's a 3-hour fucking show. SmackDown's a different story. SmackDown doesn't count. SmackDown's been dropping the ball. And NXT is a different entity because NXT knows what the fuck they're doing. Main roster-wise. Utilizing Trish and Lita, and you had 4 of the probably most known people who aren't a champion, Becky, Bailey, Io, and Dakota. Who, Damage Control is its own thing, but you did have them on a story. I'm okay with it because they're actually, having matches and being in storylines, not just being I'm here to fight for title, Bill Goldberg. They're at least engrossing themselves in everything. They're not here and being like, I demand a title because I am a legend. No, they're throwing down.
Yeah,
they do look good in the ring. Lita was a little iffy at first, but she seems to be getting the ring rust off. I'm not taking away from their abilities in the ring. I just think if they're going to put women on the card, why not push the current roster?
Let me ask you a question, Will. Do you have the same feelings when they do the same thing in the men's division, like a la an Edge, like coming in, doing a program, leaving, coming back, doing a program, leaving, like beating the current talent in Finn Balor, and then dipping and not showing up for the last 2 weeks? Like, do you feel the same, or is it just specifically to the women's division because it's not being highlighted equally with the men's?
I do think it's the same in the men's division, but I disagree with the Edge analogy here simply because Edge was forced out of the business for so long. So this is very much Edge's second run or third run, depending how you want to look at it, very a la Shawn Michaels, because he had the Edge and Christian, then he had his singles run, then he had the injury, and he was gone for 11 years, 10 years, and then he came back in 2020. So Edge, this is very much his, yes, it's his swan song, but it's not the same thing as calling a Legends back, because when they inducted him into the Hall of Fame, they did so because he thought he would genuinely never wrestle again.
That's true.
They inducted Ray into the Hall of Fame this year, and he continues to wrestle and doesn't look like he's going to retire anytime.
Only for 2 more years.
Ray can wrestle till he's 6 feet under, and I don't care. He's the greatest man to ever put on a luchador mask.
This is why I love you, Will.
Yeah, they should have inducted Rey Mysterio in the Hall of Fame 10 years ago.
Facts. 100%. 100%.
He's been the best luchador in the business, I would easily say, ever since Eddie died. Eddie was the only luchador that was going to give him very real competition for being the greatest luchador of all time. If Eddie stuck around, it would be between those two. Because Eddie was gone, it broke down to being Ray.
If you're talking about in the States or like worldwide, globally, then yes, I agree. But if you're talking about like specifically luchadors like that have stayed in Mexico, like there are other names out there that could probably rival, if not are like on par, if not above both Ray and Eddie. And that this is me as a biased fan, having both of them in my Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Going back to the topic at hand, the Trish heel turn, I'm for it. I'm swallowing that. Heel Trish is best Trish. I think that's what it should have been from the jump. So that's what I'm swallowing. She attacked Becky. They're out of the tag team title pictures. It felt like they were just kind of holding the tag titles hostage for a while because they weren't doing anything. And that much as
first title defense.
Yeah, exactly. And as much as I don't like the team of Raquel and Liv because of Raquel, at least they've already doing something storyline wise on SmackDown, the show right after they won the titles. So swallowing Trish, turning on Becky, this should be interesting. I'm almost guaranteed certain that Trish was the one that attacked Lita, which is going to lead to a very interesting storyline. And this is a story. Or
hear me out. Now, no one would love to see Lita vs. Trish just a one-off in 2023, 20 years after they main evented Raw.
Right.
Your girl would love to see it. What if Lita took herself out because she knew her and Trish are scheming? They scheming. They said, "No, we fucking had it with Becky. We're sick of this shit. I'm gonna take myself out because, Raquel and Liv were like, we just got here. We don't know." Which Liv Morgan screaming her ass off, Scream Queen, 2023, Liv Morgan.
Hell yeah.
And like Lita was just like, on the ground, kind of just like holding her neck and like kind of falling down. Suspicious. I got my theories. Will's got conspiracy theories about everything in the world. I got conspiracy theories about this.
I like the theory. It'd be interesting because I echoed that same sentiment a few weeks back when they hadn't even won the titles yet. Or no, actually they have won the titles, but they hadn't set up the 6-woman tag match at Mania. And I was saying I'm splitting the fact that it just feels like Trish and Lita are just kind of like the second to Becky Lynch. Yeah, they're the background characters. They're supporting characters, and they shouldn't be. So I'm with that. So, but sticking in the women's division, we not only had the women's tag team title match, we had a women's triple threat #1 contenders match, and that's where my first swallow starts. I'm swallowing Io Sky and the match as a whole, winning and becoming the #1 contender for Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship. And initially and originally, it was Bayley that was supposed to be in this match because she went and complained and did her Karen impression to Adam Pearce, talking about how, like, hey, we should be getting better stuff. My girl should be getting a tag team title match, not Liv and Raquel, yada yada. And in the midst of it, she got an opportunity, a #1 contendership match in the triple threat, and she's tried to pitch it to Damage Control. So I was like, oh, once I win the match and become Raw Women's Champion, I'll have more leverage, and then we can help you guys out get the tag titles. And I liked that Io was bothered and was pissed, and she was yelling at Bayley in Japanese. Dakota comes in and just like, yeah, what about us? No, why can't we have that opportunity? Why does it have to be you? She goes back reluctantly, and it turns out that Io gets the spot, gets the victory. Bayley didn't seem too amused at the fact that Io had won. So I like this because this teases some tension between Damage Control. And I've been a proponent that I think the faction should be broken up. I don't think it's working how we envisioned it was going to work when they debuted at SummerSlam. Plus, Io Sky is one of my favorite wrestlers on the whole entire company. So her getting the dub and the match against Bianca, that's going to slap. That's going to be a great match. Give it to me in Puerto Rico. That's what I want.
That's probably where it's going to happen, if I were to guess.
I think that's the perfect opponent for Bianca because I don't think she's going to drop the belt yet. So, give her somebody that she can have a banger with, and we know is going to be a 5-star match, and then just let it be a good one-off, short-told story because she earned the #1 contender spot. So now for the next few weeks, it can be the build to the match between them jaw-jacking, and then we can get to Puerto Rico, and we can have a great match where we know Bianca doesn't necessarily have to drop the title, but she can still let Io get her moveset in and look good for the crowd.
Yeah, I agreed. JJ in the chat saying, really, I love Io, but how does that make any sense? Like Will explained, it's a stopgap feud. And if it does go ahead and tease some dissension in the ranks of Damage Control, I think it's going to be great.
Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Damage Control needs to break up now. They're doing nothing. This is getting fucking stupid.
Yeah, 100%. Ellison says that she thinks Bayley is hurt and they just aren't saying anything, which is why she wasn't on Raw last week and she got subbed in kayfabe in the match. She also says the same thing they did with Asuka. I'm not sure what you're alluding to. And
she's talking about just a one-off feud match, I think.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, it'd be a great match. That's what you, at this point, if you haven't figured out who you're going to drop the title to, in the Bianca title reign, at least put her against opponents that she's going to have great matches with. And that's kind of where I'm at in this boat, is just have her have a really good match with Io. Yeah. It'll slap. So it's a swallow for me.
Yep.
Will, spit or swallow?
I'm going to do my first spit. Okay. And it kind of ties in with a different swallow for a different reason. I'm going to spit the idea of them leaning towards a breakup of Sammy and KO already. They seem like they're already starting to dig at that dissension between the two of them, and going back to the Night of Champions thing at Saudi. I hope a bot show doesn't fuck up a really, really amazing title reign, because Sammy and KO, neither one really have any interest. Sammy won't go. KO's, he's not going to go unless they pay him a buku of money. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I hope that a bot show doesn't fuck up this amazing storyline and all of this, the little one-offs and jabs that KO throws out there. And tonight it was the argument about how, you know, like Sammy was like, just calm down and be cool. And he's like, no, don't. And, you know, like with, it was just, I don't like the idea of them already showing dissension between these two only 2 weeks out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, they started on SmackDown last week, right, Katie? With the whole dissension stuff?
I don't know if I would necessarily call it dissension. I think it's specifically the Usos because they're the main antagonists here. Basically just pointing out the history that KO and Sammy have. Like, Kevin has turned on Sammy probably like 4 or 5 times in the times they've been in WWE as a whole. Literally, his first night in NXT, power bombs the shit out of Sami Zayn and basically takes the title and be like, fuck you bitch, this is mine now. That literally happened. And then now they're kind of being like, oh, well, Sammy turned his back on the bloodline, so Sammy's going to be the one to turn his back on you, Kevin. Like, all right, everyone take it easy. I think that's more so kind of is what they're playing into, because it is something that we have seen many a times in their run in WWE. So I don't necessarily think dissension. Again, my perception here, I'm so like good with my words tonight. I'm so proud of myself.
Finger snaps.
English minor, ladies and gentlemen. I had graduated.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. I noticed it last week on SmackDown when they were doing like, I'm gonna go talk to Jay and Kevin's like, don't do that type of thing. And Sam was like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna do it anyway. So it's kind of like it would be like me and Matt trying to be on the same page, and he's like, Vince, don't do this specific thing on the show. It's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do it anyway. You know, it's yeah. So. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. But yeah, no, I get that. So that was Will's spit. Yeah, spit. Katie.
I'm just gonna go straight to AEW stuff because I know Vince didn't watch it and he can handle the majority of WWE stuff. So I'm gonna go straight there. So I'm spitting Swerve versus Darby just because I don't care about Darby at all. I love Swerve, but not right now. So I'm spitting the match, but, and this is what I wanted, I'm swallowing the MJF Darby stuff after the fact. This is what I wanted. I wanted Max to come out after like the matches of each of the pillars, and they have this one like back and forth thing. Plus, Sting came out and started throwing pom-poms at Max, which kind of just really threw me off. But that's what I wanted from this, because they are showing the fact that it's not just Max versus Jungle Boy or MJF versus Darby or MJF versus Sammy. No, it's literally MJF versus all 3 of them, and the 3 of them are watching each other's matches, and I like that they're kind of doing that. Plus the digs that they all say against each other make me chuckle. It's fun. I always say Max is everyone's favorite rat bastard, because he is. And I think it was you who tweeted that Darby learned how to talk.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. I was like, when the fuck did Darby learn how to talk?
Honestly, like, he killed it in that. He was just like, you know, I have self-respect. I bought my parents a home. I stopped caring about me, and then Max is just like, well, I don't, you know, Max being Max, his typical things. So I like the dynamic of everything, and Sting kind of, you know, putting his 2 cents in there too. He's like, well, listen, I don't have much time left, which we fucking know. Darby does, which Darby got hit by a car last week and then wrestled a match 2 days later. So like, nothing surprises me anymore. So like, Jesus Christ. But I like what they did with all of that. I'm very curious to see what Sammy's is going to be like, because the crowd can't fucking stand Sammy Guevara. So that's going to be interesting when we get there. but I'm swallowing all of that stuff, but I'm spitting the Swerve Darby match.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you there. I liked it. I'll even swallow the Swerve versus Darby match because it was decent. It was solid for me. It was a good solid way to start off the show. The promo, specifically Sting's part, because the minute Sting showed up and he started doing all these promos, he made a reference to Cody Rhodes. The pom poms killed me. I have no idea what that's in reference to, but I'm like, this is silly and ridiculous, but I fucking love it. So
it's Jokery Sting.
Jokery Sting was fantastic. I like how he just kind of made homages to like all the different like versions of himself, and now there's all these different versions of him. I liked it. I like the whole interaction between MJF, Darby, and Sting. It was all good. It was all good shit. So I'm with you, Katie. I'll swallow that with you.
I swallowed all three of those things as three individual moments. The Darby promo, the MJF promo, and the Sting promo, all three. I tweeted also all in that promo. I also tweeted that the IWC collectively took a shit because Sting referenced Cody by name and Ric Flair by name in one promo. So I was like, the IWC's head just exploded. Like all at once because of it. So yeah, everything about that promo was amazing.
Yeah, great stuff. All around great stuff there. I'll pivot here. So from one legend to another, I'm gonna go ahead and swallow the Rey Mysterio and Finn Balor match on Raw. I thought it was really good. I never thought I don't think we've seen that pairing before. I don't think so. Might have been the first time we've seen Finn versus Rey.
To my knowledge, it was the first time.
Okay. The promo, the promo to start things off too. I'm swallowing Rey in general this week because not only is he going in the ring, but he's taking the turn in terms of his approach in parenting. Because now he's willing to fight Dominic, and Dominic's the one's like, no, I don't want to fight my dad.
Because Dominic's a bitch.
And I love to see it. He's a chicken shit heel, my favorite kind of heels. So the promo to initially he challenged Dom to a match. It set up Finn versus Rey. I know there was like flight issues, so maybe that's why we didn't see the rest of LWO on Raw. But then we can pivot over to SmackDown, and we got Priest versus Santos, which was a great match. Priest continuing to throw Bad Bunny's name in his mouth and talk about like everything that happened, and it's clearly leading to Bad Bunny and Rey versus Judgment Day in some way, shape, or form. If not an outright like multi-person match, if Rhea doesn't defend her women's title at the pay-per-view,
which she needs to sidebar just against Zelina, like that needs to happen.
Yes, that's part of my thing because like I have everything LWO plus Selena and Rhea. That should be Rhea's first challenger because it just kind of connects with everything they're doing. It's great. And it's a good story of David versus Goliath in the ring, which I like to see be told. It was similar with Priest and Santos, David versus Goliath in there. I just like a good old-fashioned match where you have a big powerhouse guy and like a quick, athletic, luchador-esque type wrestler. So it was all good stuff. Shout out to LWO. This stuff, I think the first time on SmackDown that they represented the Puerto Rican flag design LWO shirt by Selena and Cruz del Toro. So shout out to that. And yeah. Priest got the dub. He needed a dub because he wasn't doing anything leading up to WrestleMania. And he's
one in Judgment Day.
Yeah, the only one in Judgment Day didn't have a match. But he's probably also going to take that pin in the tag match against Bad Bunny. So he needs to look strong.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So all good stuff. All good stuff. Everything LWO, everything Rey. He's becoming a better father now. He's actually fighting his son on SmackDown. He's not a perfect father, but he's an improved father. At least improved from like 3 weeks ago.
Will, did you look up?
I did. I looked it up. Finn Balor is 4-0 against Rey Mysterio in their WWE careers.
They've had multiple matches?
Really?
Were they all televised?
Yeah, not all of them. There were a few that were dark matches. The one on Monday Night Raw.
Right.
Finn beat him. Saturday night main event. a house show in the Pacific Coliseum in British Columbia.
Okay.
Finn beat him on Monday Night Raw in August of last year.
Oh.
Finn beat him on Raw in July of last year.
So multiple times they've been on TV. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, time's not
and
real,
Finn
so.
and the Mysterios tagged for an entire tour in England in 2021.
Wow. Well
There
then.
you have it.
What a
Thank you,
time
Katie.
that was.
Yeah. Thank you, cagemat.org.
Shout out. Speaking of shout outs, shout out to Jay from Get Show Podcast. He's getting married today. Tying the knot. Happy for the man. Shout out to my boy Jay. Will, spit or swallow?
I'm going to go into the AEW realm.
Okay.
And I am going to swallow everything that is Orange Cassidy and the All International Atlantic Forever title.
That's 100% what the name is.
I, at first, hated Pockets and his Canadian tuxedo, or whatever it's called, like the jean suit.
You're right. Canadian tuxedo.
Okay. Dan is here. Thank goodness. I was really worried that I stayed up this late and wasn't going to see Dan. So I'm glad you're here, Dan. So I love Orange Cassidy. At first, I wasn't a big Pockets guy. I thought he was kind of lame. I didn't think he didn't work a lot. And you know me. Both of you know me well enough to know my style of wrestling. If you're a character that can work, amazing. I'm going to love the shit out of you. If you're a character-based wrestler that can't work, I'm going to ream you through the mud relentlessly. And that's who OC was to me at first. I thought he was a character-based wrestler with no in-ring talent.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's arguably maybe the best mid-card champion they've had in a long time, because the TNT Hot Potato title doesn't give anybody a chance to really establish themselves as a champion.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. If you're not aware with Orange Cassidy prior to AEW, then you probably think he's just kind of like a gimmick wrestler, and he's not actually going to go in the ring. I've gotten a chance to see him, thankfully, prior to AEW, so I knew he could go in the ring, and that was kind of his whole shtick, is that he doesn't try until he absolutely has to, which is one of the pet peeves of Matt lately, is that he's become this wrestler that always tries from the beginning, and he kind of like the aspect of him, he's kind of like the sloth of professional wrestling. He doesn't really try. He's very lazy until he absolutely gets pushed to his limit, is when he actually goes to the next level. But yeah, I get that. Shout out to Orange Cassidy. I like me a good Canadian tuxedo, or whatever it's called.
No, we established that.
It didn't sound right to me either when I said it, Vince, to be completely honest. That's why I questioned myself and needed reassurance from Katie, was because I didn't think it was right.
I know fashion. I love Canadians. And
I love Canadians.
Don't we all? Nice people.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it. Orange Cassidy versus Buddy Matthews was one hell of a match. I am so sad I don't get to see that live next week. That's kind of bullshit. Whatever. But let's talk about the fact that Buddy finally got his little moment in the sun, rightfully so, because obviously House of Black, always been on black, the house always wins. They, as a faction, as a trio, whatever you want to call them, killing it. They're the best. We love it. 10 out of 10. But, Brody and Malachi were already a tag team before they brought Buddy in. So when it's just tag team stuff, more than likely it's Buddy and Malachi. Or Brody and Malachi. Too many names. So Buddy getting his shot, and I really thought I was going to get some Buddy 2 belts. And I usually hate double champions, but I fucking love Buddy Matthews, so I would have been okay with it. Because I know he would have actually, traveled. I know Orange Cassidy kind of is now, but,
basically do what Pac was doing.
Pac was literally going to indie shows and being like, hey, I have a title. Would you like to fight for this?
That was the point of what this title was supposed to represent, though.
Yeah. And Orange Cassidy is just going to New Japan. That's it.
To be fair, they would really expect Orange Cassidy, given his gimmick and his character, to really actively go from indie promotion to indie promotion, defending the title.
I mean, he could.
He could, but Yeah, but he probably walk it there. He'd take his sweet old time. So by the time he gets to the show's over. It was probably ended like 2 days ago, 2 days prior.
Well,
So
I also
trying to find some
take
logic
a backpack to every wrestling show I go to. By the way,
yeah.
Every time I go, I take a backpack. It's got snacks. It's got my notebooks and my pens. It's got my iPad so I can watch videos if I get cranky. Like, it's my backpack. It takes care of everything that I need, especially if I'm going to be on my feet all day.
Will loves his notebooks.
Backpack.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Notebook
There you go.
Backpack. Notebooks.
This is a tiny notebook. With a out of paper, so it's very sad.
Yeah, I'm like almost halfway through my notebook, so I had to go and get a new one. But this is my
notebook. This is a different notebook.
Yeah, I have a separate one too. It's usually when I actually get a chance to like watch the wrestling shows at home, and I use my actual regular notebook. But this is my travel size one. I'm with you, Katie. I haven't watched the match, but I heard about it, and that's one of the things I actually actively do want to watch AEW this week. I just didn't get a chance to do it.
I don't believe you.
I watched last week, and I watched the week prior to that one too. I watched the last 2 weeks, except for this one. 2 out of the last 3 weeks.
He's on a streak, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm streaking. But yeah, I like Buddy Matthews. I've liked them ever since the cruiserweight division in NXT, WWE, whatever. I liked him when he was in the tag team as Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss. I like him. He has a great moveset, so I know that match is going to be fantastic. So I have that set to go after we're done. I'm actually going to watch that as I go to sleep. But a match that I did get to watch this week that I thought was fantastic, by the way, and that was the main event to NXT this week, and specifically Dragon Lee. He has a really cool entrance, and this is not just me shouting out more Latinos, because like Latino stand up, let's go. But Dragon Lee's theme song is really cool. They're doing a lot of work in his presentation. His gear leaves very little to the imagination, and he can go in the freaking ring. And as much as I don't like Jordan Devlin or JD McDonough or whatever, and I'm not a fan of Grayson Waller, collectively, Waller, McDonough, Dragon Lee, and Duke Hudson all put on a great match. Duke was the powerhouse, the big man in the match, and he got some actual shine. He got some offense in. It was great to see. It was great to see the Duke. More on him later. But yeah, swallowing that Fatal 4-Way main events. The results, not so much, but kind of makes sense, even though I don't really care to see Waller versus Mello again.
I mean, nobody cares to see it, but like we need a match for their random little spring break-in.
Yeah, yeah. Both them and AEW do that all the time. Like their pay-per-view themed weekly episode, they do that a lot.
I mean, it works, but I mean, I don't know. NXT standing out from the main roster, and AEW is standing out from itself, so it makes sense. Like
from ROH.
I like a good network special if it's done right, but if it's kind of somebody on the show the other night used the analogy like this. They were like, on the 4th of July, everybody loves fireworks. You don't appreciate those fireworks if you see them every fucking night. Like a once every quarter maybe network special is one thing, but I feel like between AEW and NXT, there's a network special once or twice a month between both brands.
I feel like NXT's gotten better. I think during the pandemic, they were definitely very heavy on doing those.
That was a little bit different of a time, though. So exactly. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think since then, they kind of have slimmed it down to only like a few.
Yeah.
And some of them that were like, just weekly television specials, they basically made into like takeovers, PLEs, pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Vengeance Day at one point was their like weekly special show thing, and then it was their pay-per-view. Like it, so they kind of just vary it, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I mean, I like to nitpick just because I like to nitpick at stuff because that's kind of like what we do here.
What?
Yeah, I know. Shocking.
No.
But I don't know. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I'd like it more if AEW and NXT both like maybe had like themed sets for the occasion. Maybe not change the whole Titantron thing, but I don't know if it's called Spring Break-In or whatever. Put some palm trees, put in some like sand, like some like folding chairs, like
in your house at one point was legitimately
a
fun
house.
on.
Yeah, because Io dove from it when she won the NXT Women's title
over Flair that year.
Yeah.
I want to chime in for a second. Dan says, take away Ring of Honor, AEW only does 4 Battle of the Belts a year. That was true. They do the 4 Battle of the Belts. They also do Fighter Flight or Fighter Fest or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. Then they do Winter is Coming. And then they do whatever they're, the St. Patrick's Day Massacre or whatever it's called. They do the Grand Slam at Dynamite in the tennis stadium. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Like, it's not just 4 Battle of the Belts. They do 4 Battle of Belts once a quarter because they're obligated to. They do all these other specials too. I'm sorry, Dan. I thought you were being serious.
It's also the fact that they've had, I just talked about this. They've had 6.
Sorry, Dan. I love you.
Battle of the Belts. Battle of Belt number 6 was last week. Or 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Crazy.
Tell me how many titles have changed hands. 1.
I was about to say none.
Well, okay. Technically, and this is just pissing me off, it was the first and only one that I know of was when Cody had COVID and they decided, oh, here's an interim TNT champion for a fucking week.
For the 10 days bullshit. He's on quarantine?
Yeah, that bullshit. That's the only reason the title, quote-unquote, changed hands.
Technically, it didn't because Cody came back with the original championship and that was classified as an interim title. So it was a completely different title. So no title changed hands. A new champion was crowned for a new interim championship.
Vince, shut up.
I'm saying it's because you were making that case.
It's the same concept though. Like they only made it a quote unquote interim because Tony Khan's an idiot.
Yeah.
It was the same title regardless.
Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. But I technically, and we're being technical here, I don't personally consider it a title change, but I guess some people could. Who went last? Was it Will? Was it Will that went last? I went last? No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did, because this originally started with Dragon Lee.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, Will, you're next. Spit or swallow.
I had spitting, spring breaking, but there's no need to go back down that road again. This is one of those spit part of it and swallow part of it. And the Brandon Cutler, Michael Nakazawa versus BCC match. Like, Nakazawa kind of showed out. I hate Brandon Cutler.
Out of curiosity, can I ask why?
At first I was like, maybe Brandon is going, maybe Brandon is a solid worker, or maybe Brandon was more than just a producer for BTE. Maybe Brandon had a purpose. And then I find out Brandon's not a full-time producer of BTE anymore. Brandon's kind of a mediocre wrestler. He's not as good as anybody else on the roster. He wears that stupid fucking mask all the time. So you realize he's just kind of a tool bag that hangs out with the Young Bucks, and I already don't like the Young Bucks. So fuck Brandon Cutler.
Okay, fair. I was just wondering.
Fair points. Who am I to deny?
So yeah, Nakazawa going toe-to-toe with Claudio was ballsy. So I'll give him props. He got good color the hard way, got in there, beat him down, ripped his shirt off, hulked up a little bit, like started his shine. Like, that was good. I liked that. I don't like Brandon Cutler. Fuck that guy.
I agree with Will here. Not much to say other than that. Katie, spit or swallow.
Well, I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
Go
ahead.
Wow. Explain why she loves Brandon Cutler.
Trying to rush me. Disrespect.
No, not trying to.
We're an hour in and we've done 2 turns each.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to make this go a little faster, but real quick. I mean, it made sense for them to do that. Only way to bring the Elite back, I guess. And they recreated the screwdriver spot from when Mox and Kenny some people will take it as justice for Hangman because Moxley stabbed him in the face with a screwdriver, which also just really disrespectful by Jon Moxley, by the way. Like, you ain't gotta stab him in the face. It's kind of
not what
rude.
Screwdrivers are for.
That's literally not what screwdrivers are for. I'm just saying. Yeah, so all of that, it did what it had to do. Whatever. But I'm going to... Where do I want to go? Okay, well, I'm gonna swallow War Daddy coming back, destroying a car, being himself. I get to see that match next week. I'm very excited.
Fingers
because, yeah, I mean, Big Mini Men Slap and Meat, Part 2, and I love Wardlow. So just being in his presence is going to be fantastic. I'm very excited. And like it's giving Hobbs something to do since he is the fucking TNT champion.
Right.
Will a title change hands? I don't fucking know. They at this point probably because it's hot potato, like Will said. So I won't be mad if I get to see a War Daddy title win. I'm okay with it for personal reasons, but I don't know. I'm just happy that he came back, said, "Hey, yo, fuck this car. I'm gonna put a forklift in it." And then back up and let the forklift do it again.
BattleBots.
Just for funsies.
Yeah.
BattleBots. Exactly.
I don't remember who said that, but I'll steal somebody's joke. I can't give you credit. I apologize. It was somebody in the group chat, but they were like, BattleBots.
I mean, that's literally what it was.
No.
Yeah. Well, BattleBots could kind of be classified almost as foreign objects or toys. And you know where we could go to get some really fun toys, guys?
Where, Vince?
We can go to adamandeve.com. So Adam and Eve is the nation's largest marketer of adult products with millions of satisfied customers in the United States and all over the world. Founded in 1971, Adam and Eve is also one of the oldest names in the rapidly evolving adult industry. For more than 50 years, they have built a reputation as a trusted and reliable adult toy store that takes pleasure and privacy seriously. When you want to shop erotic toys, Adam and Eve has it all. Men and women, straight or gay, and anywhere else in between. Adam and Eve has the adult toys you're looking for, including but not limited to vibrators, dildos, anal sex toys, bondage toys, couples toys, lubes, sexy gifts, and accessories like straps. Unlike other adult stores, Adam and Eve stands behind all their products and offers a no questions asked return policy. So whether you've bought a dildo, sex swing, or penis ring, you can get a full refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the code erotica to receive 50% off one item plus free shipping on orders of $49 or more. Once again, guys, that is adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the code erotica to receive 50% off and free shipping. The link is in the description. There. That's the only one I'm going to plug because I feel like it's the only one apropos for Smackin It Raw. And this is in Croatia conversation. So just kind of had to squeeze it in there somewhere, you know? Anyways, I think it's on me, right? Because you swallowed the War Daddy, Katie.
Yep.
Okay. So from one daddy to another, I'm going to swallow the MVP of Chase U, Duke Hudson. I saw a sign in the crowd. I don't know if you guys spotted it or not. There was a sign that said Big Duke Energy. And I like puns. I like wordplay. And it was great.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one. He actually got a trophy presentation. I'm spitting the fact that Braun Breaker came in and ruined everything, speared Andre Chase. How rude of him. Disrespectful. But the whole chicken shit heel aspect and the whole self-centeredness from Duke Hudson, letting Andre Chase getting his ass whipped by Braun and him leaving this, trying to decide, do I help? Do I grab my portrait? Do I grab my trophy? Grabs his trophy and scurries off, but does get the championship opportunity in the main event. All great stuff. Andre Chase still in the background afterwards in the backstage segment. Thea Hale trying to like reinsure him, make sure he's okay. And Duke Hudson over here just kind of geeked for his championship match. The crowd giving him an MVP chant. Fantastic stuff. I know Katie and Matt aren't behind the Chase U stuff, and maybe Will might not be either, given like his preference in pro wrestlers.
What is Chase You?
What is Chase You? You
No,
tell
I'm
me.
asking.
Will. It's a university. It's an organization. It's a feeling. It's a belief. It's a way of life.
To be completely honest, I watch from about 8:40 to 9 o'clock for NXT. Like I watched the last half an hour. I'll watch that last segment in the main event. And that's usually all I watch every week of NXT. And
Okay.
I'm not trying to say that. It's one of those shows for me. I watch, Impact and NWA and everything else that I cover for my interview stuff. That when it comes down to the free time, I don't watch NXT anymore. Like almost never. Like
That's fair.
I've got a couple things. I did swallow Dragon Lee. But like it's the one show I don't watch live almost ever. If I do, like I said, it's like the main event.
Yeah, I get that. I mean,
so I kind of know who Chase You is, but I'm not familiar at all with what's happening with the story right now.
Was in the main event representation, Duke Hudson. He did do like the Dusty, like bionic elbows, and then
he did a big dive over the top rope. That was kind of cool.
That was cool. He did the Hulk Hogan, Hulk up instead of doing you. He did you, as in Chase You. I like creativity. I like shit that people don't like for some reason, and that's
you're a hipster.
Fucking hipster.
Will Spitter swallow that.
Let's go with I'm gonna spit squashing Silas Young.
Okay.
Which was the guy that Hobbs wrestled.
There you go.
He was the indie guy. I've got a soft spot in my heart for the indie wrestlers. So anytime I see somebody that's an alumni of the show on AEW or doing like dark work for WWE, I always get like, makes my heart happy, right? So to see Silas on AEW, I was like, hell yeah. And then watched him get squashed, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he's just so good. So to squash him like that's just kind of like lame. I'm glad he got the check. I'm glad he gets to work the match, everything that goes with it. I just think they should have done him a little bit better than what they did.
I think there'll be a chance to see more Silas Young on AEW because it was his first appearance on AEW, if I'm not mistaken. Or Katie, you can fact check, or Will can fact check. But like Sky Blue showed up and she took L's and she got almost squashed immediately. Like the first couple matches, it wasn't until like recent, like I want to say like a few weeks into like a few showings that she would get some offense. But I don't know. Silas Young is pretty solid. I like him as a wrestler.
Dan brings up something in the chat. Silas Young had a great match against Shane Taylor and then gets squashed by Hobbs. I agree, Will. I was going to say he's been on Ring of Honor 2 or 3 times. This was his first AEW spot, but he also had a history with Ring of Honor in the previous regime.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's even a new Ring of Honor guy by any means. Like he has a history technically with the company, even though Tony Khan's only owned Ring of Honor for what, a year and a half now?
If that.
Give or take. Yeah, if that. Katie's right. All right. I'm with you. I like that.
And a former champion. Dan's the man.
You know what? Yeah. Shout out to Dan. Well, I don't call him Dan. I call him Bakley. So it's always weird.
We're on a first name basis.
Okay. Yeah, I know. We're not like that. We only slide into each other's DMs to talk about basketball. So we're not at that level yet. But where we should be at is the next bit of swallow. So Katie, why don't you go ahead?
Good job. I'm swallowing the fact that Keith Lee had a main event match on AEW Dynamite.
At the very least, yes.
And I love Keith Lee to death. Him kissing the top of Jericho's forehead, giving him the big bear chops, which hurt my chest thinking about because, god damn it. Keith Lee is just one of those people I will always love to watch wrestle. Like he's funny, but switches, gets super intense if need be. And like he was off TV for a while, obviously came back. with the hair, it's giving. I don't know how to describe this. Okay, so have you guys seen the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen?
No.
Okay,
that's pronouncing it right.
Huh?
No, I'm just messing with you.
Will, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. So when he's like transforming into Santa and his hair starts going a little gray, that's kind of what Keith Lee reminds me of. Like he's about to become Santa Claus. Like it kind of fits.
I'm here for Keith Lee as Santa Claus. I will swallow Santa Keith Lee.
Damn, that's still at work. Holy shit.
Vince has never seen any movies at all.
Again, I am reiterating this point. I'm reiterating this point for many
I never
reasons.
made any such claims to have watched any filmography that I don't dub
I'm just
MCU
saying this blasphemous bullshit that I keep getting from Matt and Reek specifically, saying I have never seen a movie until recently. Vince has never seen a movie ever. So I'm sick of this.
I mean, both statements could be true without this, disproving the other.
No.
I'm not saying it's not true. I want to say a good 90% of movies that the general public has watched and loved and think I watched, but I haven't.
Hook.
That's I don't care. Maybe I'll watch Hook, maybe I won't, but I don't really care. Shout out to Matt, stuck at work still. We love you, Matt. We miss you, Matt. It's not the same without you.
I miss you, Matt.
I miss you.
Yeah.
But Keith Lee is Santa Claus. Main eventing, and then manager Adam Cole, as people kind of just took that little bit and ran with it, as they do. I love the fact that they're just like, yeah, you know what? We beat the shit out of each other in NXT. We're homies now. And fuck yeah, you are. Two of my favorites. Hell yeah. I'm down.
Yeah.
Fuck Chris Jericho, though.
100% fuck Chris Jericho every single day, twice on Sundays. But I did like I didn't see the extent of it, obviously, because we've already emphasized that I haven't finished Dynamite. But I did see screen grabs of Adam Cole with Keith Lee. Justin tweeted it out and had a caption saying, "She's just not interested in you, bro," as the caption. And now I want to see it. So shout out to Adam Cole and Keith Lee. Lee.
I mean, he literally came out after the match. So you have to watch the match in order to get to the moment.
Or I can fast forward through the match and then get
But
to
you
the
should
moment.
watch the match because Keith Lee.
It's Jericho though.
But it's Keith Lee.
But it's Jericho. I'll see. I'll see. I might play it in the background and watch it while I eat. So I'll probably do it. You know what, Katie? I'll do it. I'll watch the match. I'll keep you guys updated next week on what I actually thought of the match itself. But speaking of Keith Lee, you mentioned Santa Claus Keith Lee. Now I need to see that. He needs to dress up as Santa Claus for Christmas this year. I want to see it. He needs a Santa Claus themed gear. That's what he needs.
Help Benjamin design it. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll get on it. In the meantime, I'll do my next bitter swallow. And I'm going to go back to SmackDown. And I'm going to swallow another NXT alumni. And that is the return of the King of Strong Style, the artist Shinsuke Nakamura, returned on SmackDown, had a match against Mad Cat Moss. Also going to do a double swallow for Emma pre-match, trying to hype up and I wouldn't say gaslighting, but supporting being
she was gaslighting.
But
let's call spade a spade.
Okay,
she was gaslighting.
If I may, if you'll humor me for a minute, let me put a positive spin on it. She gets a swallow for being a great supportive partner. You should strive to find yourself an Emma in your relationship, because she's out here saying you're going to be the number one draft pick. You're this, you're that, you're the great athlete. You're going to win this match, X, Y, Z. She's lying. But
she's gaslighting.
Gaslighting too, but
gaslighting girl boss, Emma.
Gaslighting girl boss Emma.
This is like your kindergartner, though. Like, we all know Madcap Moss isn't going to be the number one, person.
No.
But you don't look at your 5-year-old and expect him to paint the Mona Lisa either. You're like, oh, this is great, sweetie.
Wow. Pick up your notebook.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
But that's kind of my whole point. I'm swallowing Emma as a partner because you want that support, I feel and I hope that I have that support right now with my current girlfriend, with Melissa. So I like that. I feel like I got that positive energy in my day-to-day life. She supports me in everything I do. She's my number one fan. She's rooting for me. She is my advocate. And Emma being Madcap's advocate just warms my heart, because at the very least, if Madcap can't get a good name or win a match on TV, at least he has a good partner in his relationship. The only thing I'm spitting, and in the whole Shinsuke Emma match in general, is the fact that afterwards we got Scarlett with the playing cards, highlighted the Shinsuke tarot cards, whatever. I don't know the names of things. Cards. This is why Katie's here. They're playing cards. She plays with them, I would assume.
She doesn't play with. I'm not getting into
no,
the whole
hold
tarot
on. Katie, don't say anything else. Vince, what do you think they do with tarot cards? Just explain to me. What do you do with tarot cards?
That's a good question. Do you want an honest answer here?
Yeah.
Don't they perform voodoo magic, or they try to tell your future or something?
Close. I'll give you credit for that. It's about astrology and shit. It goes with
okay.
Yeah. So you're not too far off. I'll give you credit for that one. The judges will give you a B+ for it. Give A for effort.
I give him a C. I give him a C.
C is still passing.
Voodoo, and that's not. That's a different type of magic, my guy.
Tarot cards, voodoo,
tarot cards, or the Shadow Man from Princess and the Frog.
No, but yeah, I am spitting the fact that it looks like we're gonna get Cross versus Shinsuke next, which I'm not looking forward to it. So I'm not looking forward to anything Cross. So what?
I like anything Shinsuke though. So
Me too.
If it gets him more on the screen, then I'm okay with it. Cross isn't completely unpalatable.
Yeah, because Scarlett's a thing.
See, that right there's all we need
in the tarot cards.
I suppose. Will next. Spit us off.
I'm gonna go with the IWGP tag titles being on Rampage. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm into it. I like the idea of them building to Forbidden Door. I like New Japan's approach to, oh, you have a world's title. We fucks with you. Because right now, New Japan has an open relationship with CMLL. They have an open relationship sort of with WWE. They have an open relationship with AEW. They have an open relationship with Impact, NWA, MLW. You get the point. New Japan is out here putting in fucking work, and I'm here for it. Bakley says Aussie Open is a huge swallow. But yeah, you get the point. I'm here for those guys to be everywhere. I like New Japan's approach to just letting stars do their things. So, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than likely going to be FTR and Aussie, oi, open at Forbidden Door. So.
Yeah, Bakley said they just did a 40-minute banger of a match. I need to find that. Send me that link, Dan.
Dan has links. He always sends them to you. God damn it. Dan seems so wrong. So it seems like, I don't know.
What are you trying to say? What's happening over there?
It feels so wrong to say Dan instead of Bakley. It just feels weird. At least on my end, personally.
Ouch. You just hurt his feelings.
That's not what Bakley. I just meant I'm not used to calling you Dan by your first name. It's kind of like in that 70s show. I don't really refer to Michael Kelso as Michael. I refer to him as Kelso. That's all.
I can respect that.
Yeah. It's just a comfort thing. It's just
anytime I say Travis's name, I feel the need to go down and say the whole list, no matter what.
Yeah, I love Travis Pointer,
it's a very
aka
long
the Dragon
list.
King,
yeah,
aka Big T.
I had to write it all down. I had to get Matt's list when I interviewed him. I was like, oh fuck, okay, I need it in order what it is.
I actually went back and did the same thing. I went back and watched Matt list them all off and then write them down. And I kept pausing after every single one to make sure I didn't miss.
It's exactly what I did to make sure I got.
Oh, see, I just messaged him. I was like, all right, what the fuck are Travis's nicknames in order? Tell me.
Matt doesn't even know. Matt doesn't really know.
Yes, he does.
Not
in
order.
He told me them all.
Sometimes he throws them out of order, but Travis has said he doesn't matter. He doesn't care about the order as long as he gets them all in there.
Yeah, he's literally gone on record and not done shows until Matt has introduced him correctly.
I miss those days. Katie, spit or swallow.
I'm going to go back to NXT for a hot little second here. I'm going to swallow the Unholy Union. Oh, hi, Justin, as he's in all caps with exclamation marks. I'm swallowing the Unholy Union.
Daddy Jess.
You know, Team Gingers, as Matt calls them. And my sexy witch ladies.
King Firecrotch is what he calls them.
You know what? He's not here. I don't have to say it. But
you don't have to, but I'll
successfully defended their titles. Kiana, now it's really. Oh, hey, look. See, there we go. You say it, and he tells you all of the names in order. But like they successfully defended their titles. There's a lot happening in the soap opera now of Kiana James, Brooks, Jensen, Fallon. There's so much happening now. Which one is it? Jensen tried to cheat and ended up pushing fucking Brooks, which that's a big man. I'm not sure you should be doing that to him. Come on. Also,
there's a lot going on in the chat.
There's a lot happening.
I'll acknowledge it after you're done. Continue, Katie. Sorry.
Thanks. But yeah, there's a lot happening there. They're actually, defending the titles and utilizing tag teams that they kind of had. So I'm okay with it. Also, let's just call a spade. Brooks, smash. Jensen, pass. Personal preference.
I still don't know who's who.
Jensen is the virgin, the smaller one.
Okay.
Brooks is the big one. Oh, they're all drunk, and Daryl wants the link. That'll be an after show thing, I think.
Who is weird drunk? Who is just drunk with?
All of Getcho.
Okay, so for context here, Jay is using the Getcho Twitch saying props to Vince, new member. Props to Jay. Jay, I shouted you out. Congratulations on getting married. Jay got married today, and the Getcho crew, the OG, at least the Asian demographic of the Getcho podcast are all together in the wedding because I didn't get an invite, even though I, still live in Chicago, but that's whatever. And they're all drinking, they're all drunk, and Daryl wants to hang out and talk wrestling, but should finish the show first because.
So if we bust through this,
go ahead, Katie.
They can. I'm done.
Okay. All right. Just making sure I didn't cut you off and made sure you got everything.
I ended my point.
All right. Moving on to my next subject in the spit or swallow category. I'm going to swallow the fact that Solo Sikoa ended up beating Riddle on SmackDown. And lumping this all together in the effort to save time here, I'm spitting the fact that Sammy and Kevin Owens have refused to heed the warnings, have refused to see what happens in history when you associate with Matthew Riddle. He's only been back for 2 weeks, and I am already concerned about the jeopardy of the friendship of Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, their title reign. I don't know what's going to happen, but they are cursed now because they're associated with Riddle. They helped him out. They had his back. There is a precedent here. You don't associate with Riddle. So maybe that's why they're already having like this little friction, this misconnection already, because they associated with Riddle. It's all connected. It's because of the curse.
We know that. They all don't know that the curse is real.
Unfortunately, when will they learn? But swallowing the fact that Solo got the dub over Riddle, because I was gonna be pissed if Riddle was the second man to ever beat or pin Solo in a singles match on the main roster. So shout out to that. Shout out to Solo getting the job done. Shout out to Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riddle sucks. We spit Riddle.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I really had anything
back?
left to say that. Fuck Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that they were just like, "Oh, Riddle got injured, and let's show you what happened." I don't give a flying fuck. He should have been out longer. But that's just me.
That's true. Well, what else do you have to talk about?
I'm swallowing Bullet Club Gold with Swiss cheese stay white and rock hard juice box.
The Bang Bang Bros.
The Bang Bang Bros. I'm really excited for the inevitable Bullet Club versus Bullet Club versus Bullet Club versus Bullet Club versus Bullet Club match we're gonna have at Forbidden Door, because there's like 12 different versions of that fucking group now, and we don't know who the leader is, and they don't know who the leader is, and I think right now maybe even Katie's the leader of Bullet Club, but you might be in a different multiverse.
I'm actually a leader.
Because that's the kind of sense it makes. And that's a callback to my very first time on Smackin It Raw, because I spit the fact like 2 years ago that nobody knew who the fucking leader of the Bullet Club was.
Well, in New Japan, it's David Finlay. Mm-hmm. In AEW, it's
Jay White. And that's where the Civil War is going to happen, because Rock Hard Juice Box and Finlay's son used to be tag team partners, and Jay White and everybody in the Bullet Club hate each other. So there's an obvious like built-in story for Forbidden Door there.
Yeah, there's a lot of animosity. Also, I will never get over the fact that fucking Jay White looks like Diego Luna, and I literally can't get over it. And now I get to see that man live next week for the first time ever, so I'm kind of actually excited. I'm not a big fan of Jay White, but now every time I see him, I only see Diego Luna, aka Andor, so I win.
We're going to a house show rules in May, I think. That's in Kentucky. I'm curious about that, to see the AEW house show.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Going back to the whole Bullet Club stuff, I was just confused. I had no idea David Finlay was even in Bullet Club.
He just joined like a month ago.
Yeah, he joined and was like, I am the captain now.
Which, funny enough, that is how this whole Pornhub Poppy thing kind of started. I've said the story because Vince wasn't here for like a month, and I randomly was just like, I am the captain now. And then in that voice to Matt, and then I was like, I'm the Pornhub Poppy now. And then it led to an entire fucking year. So you're welcome for the entertainment, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. I don't know. The last time I was even remotely aware of anything that was happening in Bullet Club was I knew that Kenta was involved in it. I knew that Evil had his own little subsection of Bullet Club, with like Show or Yo as a member in it. I had no idea.
Chaos, which is its own separate group, but has members in both groups.
Chaos has
so many goddamn groups.
Chaos is I don't know. It's whatever. It's kind of confusing. I've like after the Elite left, it was kind of hard to like follow it because there was just so much stuff going on. That I know Tamatanga got kicked out, which is like, how are you gonna kick out an
fucking disrespectful?
How you kick out an OG?
That's your real leader right there.
It should have been the original leader, but it is what it is. Who's next? Is it me?
I just went, so I think it's Katie's turn.
Okay.
It's my turn. I'm swallowing Sol Ruka versus Tiffany Stratton on NXT. Let them cook. Let them cook. For the love of God. can't express the fact on how much I love Sloruka. I've said it on numerous occasions. One of the most talented people with less than or maybe a little over a year of actual wrestling under her belt. Her finish, one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Tiffany Stratton, one of the best moonsaults ever. Fuck Charlotte, her moonsault's ass. Tiffany Stratton's got a fucking beat by 10 miles. And I got to see a cool match. And this is what I mean, like with their women's division. Like they're cooking in NXT. You know what I'm saying? Like they're doing it. We got many a women's match in NXT. All of them are hitting as they should. So swallow.
How many matches did we get this week? I know it was a tag match. It was this match, but was there anything else?
This match-wise, I don't think, but there was like chorus stuff and Roxanne backstage. So, like there was presence.
Yeah.
In multiple segments throughout the show.
Yeah. There were segments. Okay. Yeah. Staying in NXT. This one's mostly for Matt. I'm swallowing the fact that the Don and the Underboss basically mobbed and attacked Pretty Deadly outside the parking lot in the Performance Center or Full Sail or whatever it was. I think they put one of them inside the back of the trunk and drove away.
Yep.
Somehow.
It's been a long time since we've had an abduction in pro wrestling, though.
It's been a minute. Last time it was fucking Legado.
So we're overdue for one. And luckily enough, Tony D'Angelo is in the thick of things once again in the abduction category in pro wrestling. But then somehow the other member of Pretty Deadly was able to escape, or
I mean, it's
whatever.
It's wrestling.
Yeah, they came back and then they beat the Don and Stax. So I'm spitting that for Matt because how dare they attack the Underboss and the Don of NXT? Disrespectful.
Disrespect.
Exactly.
But like swallowing the fact that Roxanne and the D'Angelo family are homies.
Yeah, that's cool.
As they should be. Let Roxanne in the family.
How do we feel about the Don being a face?
He's always a face. What are you talking about?
All right, I'm not gonna unbox that. I'm not gonna unpack that.
Forget about it.
He can't tell us what tarot cards is, but he can argue the difference between a baby face and a heel like a motherfucker, people. I love you, Poppy.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will. I called you Matt. I'm sorry.
You did.
Wow.
Because I was talking about Matt. I have it in my heart. I have him in my mind. He's missed right now. He's
literally probably in the chat just lurking right now.
Probably. He probably is giddy that I made that mistake. But in lieu of that, Will, it's your turn now. Spit or swallow.
My list is starting to run. It's starting to get a little low now. I'm going to spit anything that involves Ilya Dragunov taking an L ever. He was the most dominant NXT UK champion, not named Walter. He was an absolute beast of the ring. He had the 2021 match of the year, I think, the Ilya Dragunov Walter match 2 at TakeOver, WrestleMania before 2021, I believe. Absolute banger of a match, ridiculous good. Everything about that was just phenomenal. And now Iliad is one of those guys who came over from NXT UK that seems like he's kind of floundering in the mid card of NXT after being a quality world champion. So I think taking simple L's on, TV is just not a good utilization of that talent.
Fair. Fair.
I acknowledge the talent of Ilya. I don't quite care for him. If he shows up, I wouldn't mind getting up to get a beer or going and take my piss break. But, still, fair point. I recognize the talent. I don't know. I can't get behind him. I can never. The only thing I liked was his match against Walter or Gunther or whatever. I don't know if he was still Gunther or Walter at that point.
If it was NXT, it would have been Walter.
Yeah. So his match against Walter when he beat him for the UK title. So aside from that, I haven't really like sat there and be like, "Ooh, Ilya, give me more." You know,
I like Ilya Dragunov.
he's all right. He's a cool
Him
guy.
and Seth need to have a conductor off.
Yeah, I could get behind that. He's a tad bit small on the size spectrum for me. You know what I mean? I like a little bit bigger, beefy men when it comes to slapping meat. He's got and Katie, don't hurt me. I love you. He's got a little bit of Adam Cole syndrome. Like
I
he's
fucking
kind of
knew you were gonna say that, and then
I love you. I'm sorry. You knew it was coming. But that's how I feel about Ilya. That's like my biggest takeaway, but that's also my biggest takeaway for Adam Cole too. The only thing I have to say negative about him is his size.
Sizes and everything, unless you
size doesn't matter.
Unless you ask Allison.
Yeah, you say that to a motherfucker in a rowboat trying to get to England, okay? That's all I'm saying.
It'll get there.
Yeah, but it's gonna take you a while.
It don't matter. It's not about the destination. It's about whatever the fuck the rest of the quote is.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
The journey, not
Yeah,
the destination.
I was trying to combine too many different quotes into one, and I couldn't actually remember what it was.
Fair enough.
Katie, why don't you combine your notes and figure out what's your next bear swallow?
All right, you're kind of reaching with these transitions. Let's just take a step back here. I will, however, swallow Jungle Boy versus Sean Spears on Rampage because I love Sean Spears with my heart and soul. Mans came back after having a child with Cassie Lee. Shout out, beautiful little baby boy. And when they like put the little promo on Twitter and he was saying he was back, I genuinely got so happy. He is a perfect 10. He even brought and the fact that he's like fully back in that gimmick, even pulling out the 10 from his back.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah, he did it tonight. And it just brought back warm NXT memories from when he was there. And he's so underrated in the ring too. I mean, him and Breeze literally have a fucking school teaching people how to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And a few of their students, I think, have done like dark matches and stuff.
WWE legend, Tyler Breeze. According to 2K Games.
As he fucking should be. Put some respect on Tyler Breeze. And put some respect on Sean Spears. Because, you know what I'm saying? And he even like the chairman. Now he's just back to the perfect 10 as he should be. And it was a great match. And he showed some respect to Jungle Boy. And he's like, well, if I can't be the one to take the title off Max, I am putting my stock and my faith in you. So, hell yeah. What a way to end Rampage.
Okay, so it happened at the ending. So now I know where to fast forward to.
It was the main event.
I know where to fast forward to now. I do that with all wrestling. I do that with Raw. I do that with SmackDown. If I don't watch it live, I'm fast forwarding through stuff I don't care about. I have one concrete swallow left. Okay. How many do you guys have left?
One swallow.
I can make one.
Okay, so we'll do.
I have other stuff, but I can make one.
That's kind of how I've got stuff, but if we don't get to it, it's kind of stuff that was like B's and C's and D's down my list. So it's not a huge deal.
So
I've got one big one left.
So we each got one left.
Yeah.
I'll go with we'll give each other two. I'll go with this one.
Okay.
Unless you guys want to keep going. Like or one.
You said you had one, so
I have one concrete one, but that's because I didn't write down all my thoughts and notes. I can go back and like refresh my memory of what I watched because I have the results pulled up on my phone. So my probable last swallow is Cody Rhodes promo on Raw. He's a great promo. I feel like at this point he's probably become one of, if not the better storyteller in WWE in terms of promo wise, building up a story, building up a match. Because last week when they did the attack angle and Brock Lesnar destroyed Cody Rhodes, I was kind of groaning in the sense that I'm like, I didn't really ask for Cody versus Brock. I wasn't asking for that match. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just like now it wasn't on my bingo card. You know, it wasn't on my pro wrestling bingo card. But Cody sold me on it. You know, he talked highly of Brock Lesnar. He acknowledged his fear of challenging Brock Lesnar, but he did in fact challenge Brock Lesnar at what he dubbed WrestleMania Backlash. He fucked up there. But maybe we'll get Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes at Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is shaping up to be a fantastic show. So I'm swallowing everything, Cody. He's turned me around positively on his current feud with Brock Lesnar. I highly doubt he's going to get a win here, but we'll see what happens.
It's also the fact that he brought up the rubber chicken.
The rubber
in his
chicken,
promo, which whoever fucking threw that, disrespectful on every single count. How dare you? But you also created one of the funniest memes of 2023 so far, wrestling wise. So kudos to you.
You know that there's actual history between Cody Rhodes and the rubber chicken?
I learned that via Twitter because everyone is loving the rubber chicken Cody Rhodes memes.
Have you seen Cody Rhodes in the rubber chicken suit?
I don't want to see that.
Yeah. They did it. I have to look for it, but they did a graphic of like the Elite, as in Kenny, the Bucks, and Cody, like posing together, kind of like with like the poster stuff from All In, the original one, but this time it's the Wembley All In. And Cody is wearing a rubber chicken suit, so I don't know if that's legit or not, or just a Photoshop, but it's out there. I'll find it. I'll DM you. I'll slide in those DMs and I'll make sure you get that pic.
You can slide into whatever you want.
That's what I love to hear. Will, slide into your next spit or swallow.
I'm going to brace myself because there's somebody in the room who might throw something at me once I say these words right now. I'm swallowing everything involving Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks coming back on Dynamite.
I think the ghost in your room just threw up.
They upchucked a little bit in their mouth as I said those words out loud. I think I'm going to get behind Babyface the Elite. Like Kenny kind of teasing maybe like a return of the Cleaner in New Japan, blending with, Matt and Nick automatically getting the babyface shine with the All Access stuff. So, like, it seems like that's the direction this is probably going. Plus, BCC is obviously a heel group now with all the mean stuff they're doing. I don't know why I had to shake my head like that for it, but they're being mean.
Emphasis.
Yeah, but they're being mean, and now the Elite's back to beat them up for being mean, so I'm here for it.
They're being mean, Mama. They're being mean.
They're being mean.
You can hear the Southern when you said mean.
Travis got me the other day because the way I said lawyer.
How do you say lawyer?
Lawyer.
Lawyer. Yeah, you're
lawyer.
You're putting a lot of emphasis on the A. Lawyer.
We'll
just make this. We'll just make this. We'll just all say words and see how we pronounce them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was bound to happen. We're more than likely getting like a fucking like Anarchy in the Arena or some Stadium Stampede type bullshit match.
Blood and guts, maybe.
Probably, maybe. I don't know. I personally want Blood and Guts for the women if they build it properly, because.
What if they did Blood and Guts on Dynamite for the women and then did the BCC versus the Elite at like a pay-per-view?
Maybe. Yes.
Question. Thank you for the proper pronunciation of my government name, Katie. Not that many people can do it. What was I going to say? Don't they do what like WWE does with like their gimmick shows and have like a match for the men's and a match for the women's, like the Rumble? Or do they just have the one Blood and Guts match and call it a day?
They typically only have the one Blood and Guts. I mean, there's only been, I think, like 2 or 3.
3, I believe, but yeah. There's not a lot is the point.
Yeah, so like they very well could. But I feel like with like a Stadium Stampede or like an Anarchy in the Arena, they can kind of just go batshit crazy all over the damn place and not just be confined to one singular space. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can throw each other down the fucking stairs if they wanted to. Which, I mean, they very well could. Who even knows? So that's kind of what I think they'll do. It also will actually probably depend on if they do it at Double or Nothing and if Matt Jackson is actually cleared by then.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If not, they can have surrogates in there with Hangman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you do like an Anarchy in the Arena and how they shoot it, like they had like multiple cameras on multiple people at the same time, so you can like kind of not put a lot of focus on Matt Jackson if he isn't cleared yet, but you still want to do this match. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Speaking of pushing down the stairs, when you mentioned that, Katie, I just kind of like remembered in my head the image of Brock Lesnar shoving Zach Gowen in a wheelchair down the stairs on SmackDown.
That was terrible.
Brock Lesnar's done a lot of terrible things.
Yeah, I know.
One of the greatest things he's done, and might be controversial coming from me, is like his Mexican mariachi when he was feuding with Eddie. For whatever reason, I love that segment.
What the fuck?
I don't know why. I shouldn't like it. I should be offended by it, but I found it charming. I don't know why, because it's Brock. Anyway, Katie, spit or swallow.
Thank you. We're just gonna make this our last one, I think, because we're running a little long. I'm swallowing Xavier Woods defeating LA Knight on SmackDown. Xavier Woods does not get enough credit that he so rightfully deserves. On the mic, fantastic. In ring, underrated.
On the trombone, getting better.
He has improved sufficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Since his first time using it, yeah.
Well, yeah, his first time using it, that was like he was telling us. I don't remember what podcast or if it was just something he was saying. That like that was the first time in a long multiple years that he like picked up a trombone when they first started, because he was kind of just like, oh, I kind of like want to play us down to the ring, and they had a trombone and he used to play the trombone, so he was just like, okay, and now it has grown into this might be like Francesca 15. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah,
she's had quite a few kids.
Didn't he at one point had Francesca 2 Turbo or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. So there's been a lot of iterations of Francesca, but I mean, Xavier Woods is, like Bakley said, he's getting a title shot. As he should. And that match is going to be incredible. Yeah. Gunther and Xavier Woods.
We're getting some matches next
week. Swallowing it already. Yeah. I don't even care. We're swallowing it already.
Yeah, for sure. All good stuff.
Preemptive swallow.
Yeah, yes, preemptive swallow. Very much so.
Okay. I actually don't have anything else. So I think we can just wrap things up here, unless you guys want to specifically swallow one thing or spit one thing before we sign off. No? Okay. So, got to pose the question. What was your favorite show of the week, guys?
That is a great question. I don't know.
You don't have an answer to that question.
I never have a fucking answer to that question. Come on now. It's on brand.
NWA Chicago 312.
Excuse me?
Of the week? It happened this week?
It was last Friday, technically.
That counts.
I was on the show last week, yeah.
That counts.
It's pushing it.
I'll give it to you, Will, but that's only because it's you.
I mean, it counts anyway.
I also had to figure out a way to weasel the NWA in because I didn't put any of my spits or swallows this week. But I had to figure out a way to bring the NWA up on Matt's show at least once.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Will's thing.
Tyrus is still the NWA champion. EC3 is now the national heavyweight champion.
What even is this company?
I'm not real sure yet, but
you said yet.
I'm still figuring it out. Let it play out, right?
Okay. Maybe not for this. Maybe burn it. I don't know.
Burn it down. Yes.
Burn to the ground. Nickelback. Great song. Great Raw theme song. I'll go. I'll go NXT, I guess.
Fair enough. NXT was a good show. I guess I'll give it. It's a toss-up between SmackDown and Raw, just because they got a little bit of everything that I like. I'll give it a Raw. I'll give it a Raw because they had EO winning the triple threat. You had the Trish heel turn. You had LWO stuff. You had Finn versus Ray. We didn't even mention about Alpha Academy versus the Usos, which was a fantastic match.
Chad Gable deserves the world. There we go. I got to say that too.
Yeah, I had spitting Alpha Academy losing. Like I love Otis, but Chad Gable needs a better push.
Yeah. Agreed there, guys.
Nickelback is the second worst band in history behind Trapped. Trapped is the worst band to ever exist.
Never heard of Trapped. Never. Not once.
That's not surprising.
But what I have heard is, well, actually, there's no show of the week because I'm not going to overrule anyone. So just, guys, let us know what you thought your favorite show of the week by tweeting at us or DMing us or just tagging us in your post on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at It's Creation World. We're available on social media. If you follow us, turn on notifications so you know when we go live because we tweet and we make posts when we go live for our creation conversation weekly daily show Monday to Friday, and then we also tweet when we go live for Smackin It Raw. And I already tweeted that already plugged at the start of the show that we're available on twitch.tv/creation world. If you haven't given us a subscription yet, go ahead and do so because if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Prime Gaming, which means you get a free subscription, which means you should give it to us. And if not to us, you should give it to Katie and Shalik Showcase. If you don't give it to Katie, you should give it to Will and Botch Spots and Share Shots and River City Radio.
Bingo.
But
I don't have enough followers on Twitch to get subscribers yet. I can only get followers. So if you follow the Twitch,
follow Katie's Twitch so she
later.
can get the option to subscribe there. But you can subscribe for free on youtube.com/creation world. Turn on the bell notification there. Give this episode a like. Comment down below. Let us know what your spits and swallows of the week are. But if you can't watch us live and you want to watch us after the fact, you should go ahead and turn over to pornhub.com/model/creation world, where you can take care of some business, watch the show, then take care of some business, or take care of business while you watch the show. It doesn't really matter. It's Matt's favorite place for you to watch us, and we greatly appreciate it. So give us a like, give us views there as well. If you want exclusive content from the Creation World community, the group, we have patreon.com/Creation World, where we have 2 exclusive Patreon shows: Return to Wrestling featuring the Warden Matt Ritter and Lord Cuzzle Travis Pointer, where they go back in time and watch old WCW episodes. So if you like WCW stuff, go ahead and watch that there. They also have Multiverse with Mara and Travis, where they watch the DC animated movies and whatnot. So if you're a comic book guy, comic book gal, what have you, good show. $1 a month. You get the newest episodes plus the back catalog of all the other episodes, so you can binge watch. So if you're a binge watcher, it's perfect for you. If you want links to things, go to linktree/Creation World. We have all the links to everything there. If not, you can go to creationworld.com. Check out our dating profiles, basically, which is what they are. Find out our favorite ice cream, how many tattoos we have, our favorite drinks, what Hogwarts house we belong to, the works. Check us out. I already plugged the socials. We're on Facebook as well, guys. Facebook.com/Creation World. We got 2 groups. Facebook.com/groups/Them Dragons, where they talk about House of the Dragons and they talk about Game of Thrones whenever that comes back. But we have a wrestling specific group over there for the Smackin It Raw podcast. Facebook.com/groups/Smackin It Raw, where we have a live chat every single wrestling show: Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, what have you. Great stuff. As for me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SESVince. Linktree in my bio will take you to everything straight talk, creation conversation, Smackin It Raw, and Get Show. Go check out the latest Get Show episode podcast. Fun stuff. Shout out to Chicago the Phantasma. Shout out to Jay, who got married once again. Shout out to my homie Just. Shout out to Benji. And also go to my YouTube, youtube.com/SESVince. Subscribe there. Why not? I might do video content, so you might want to know when that's coming out. Katie, plug your stuff.
You can follow me on Twitter at KatieRassman13, link tree in my bio, take out things Shilly Showcase, twitch.tv/Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Give or take. YouTube.com/Shilly Showcase, a bunch of videos because they're way more entertaining. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, if you want to listen. Shilly Showcase is the brand and the weekly show that I do with my co-host Savannah. Inside the Mind of, interview series I do. Vince, Will, Allison, Matt, everybody's been on it. Newest one with as I dubbed her, Canada's favorite content creator, Willow Raven, is out. Highly suggest you guys check that out if you want to learn more about that industry. She's also fantastic and a wonderful human being. So if you want to hear us just chit chat for an hour and a half, I highly suggest doing that. And there's a bunch of other shit on the channel. Yeah, there'll be a new vlog sometime next weekend since I'm going to AW.
Yay! I like your vlogs. They're my favorite thing. Like I love vlogs.
Thank you.
I like the vlogs in the Elite when being the Elite, but now I don't watch being the Elite, so I watch Katie's vlogs. Katie's
few and far in between vlogs.
Storytime with Kinzy baby too. There you go.
Yeah, that one. I gotta think. I have what I want to do for the next one. I just need to like sit down and do it. It's like the same thing with like this fucking Fight Forever thing. My part 3 that I've been putting off for so long. I have all the notes done. I just need to actually like type it up, and that's
the hardest part ever.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't want to. So that'll be out eventually. There's just a bunch of shit everywhere on the channel. So go check everything out. Okay, gracias.
Will.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for having me on and thinking about me when Mateo couldn't come on. To have me on in his place. I'll never fill those shoes, but I'll be glad to attempt any chance I can as the honorary oos of its creation world. You can find me if you go to Linktree / the Will Gray. It'll give you all of my links for Botch Bots and Share Shots, Creation World. It'll have all my writers' profiles for the Sportster, Last Word on Sports, Pro Wrestling Stories. But the one that is the most important is botchbotsandshareshots.com. You can find all of our podcasting stuff, all of our YouTube links, all of my written work. You can find all of the stuff for Dirty Belly, Nerdy News at 420, and our trivia replays all through the website at botchbotsandshareshots.com. Trivia.
Love trivia. Terrible at it.
I was a champion at one point.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Congrats.
And then I blew it because I suck.
On the last question, basic math.
Wasn't it to Kyle, too, of all people?
Yes. Because Kyle...
No, that was the show I, like, subbed in for, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So I already lost my title at that point. No, it's because I second-guessed who I thought the main... Like, the celebrities or something in, like, the main event of Mania 1. And so, I knew... I got the answer right, but I didn't bet anything.
Yeah,
I was scared.
That's right.
Gotcha.
So,
Bakley says trivia is fun. Good, Bakley. That means you can play Thursday night with us.
I'll see you at 8. I won against Bakley.
There you go. Shout out to
Katie and Dan part 2, because we all know I'm going to come in 3rd place.
Shout out to Bakley. Shout out to JJ. Shout out to Allison. Shout out to Just. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to everyone that was in the chat. Thank you guys for catching us live. We'll catch you guys next week for the Pornhub Poppies, and the Chef by Trade and Mark by Choice, the Well Gray. I am the host, SES Vince. This has been the Smackin It Raw Podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. Later, y'all.
Bye.
That was fun, guys. That was fun. Great show. Finger snaps around.
I drank almost an entire 2-liter.
Jesus. That's a 2-liter?
Yeah.
How big are your hands?
Literally.
I'm just a big guy, man.
Literally what a 2-liter looks like.
How big are your hands?
I'm over 6 feet tall and weigh over 200 pounds, Vince. I'm not a small person.
And he said, "Oh, I can fit in your car." Yeah, fuck you, Will. No, you can't.
That's why I sit so far back on the screen is so I don't, because, you know, Kyle said the same thing when he met me. Kyle was like, "Holy shit, Will, I didn't expect you to be that size."
You don't seem like you have such a large physical presence.
Oh, trust me, I've heard that many times in my life.
You strike me as someone that's at least 5'10", 5'11".
I'm slightly above 6 foot, closer to 6'1" than I am 6 foot even.
Okay. Right.
And at my biggest, I weighed 298 pounds.
Okay. By the way, before I forget, just because I'm gonna need help with this, unless Matt has something in mind, we accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish except for come up with a title for this week's episode. That was my only thing. I was so focused on making sure the show was running smoothly that I completely forgot we need a title. So there's that. Chat, if you guys have an idea for the title. I know what the thumbnail is going to be. I don't know if you guys saw the picture of the Outcasts all in the backstage area flipping the camera off in their picture. Nice. So it's going to be that.
Sounds all right.
Yeah. If it were up to me, I'd put Big Duke Energy, but that's not a good title. Big Duke Energy, but I don't think that's a good title. I don't think that's a title that universally everyone's going to agree with.
I just don't know. See, I always have this issue too. Like, unless like something like fully stands out, and like if it makes like Savannah and I crack up.
Bang Bang Twins.
I like Bang Bang Twins.
Bang Bang Twins is a good one.
Yeah.
We can do Bang Bang Twins. I'll send it to Matt, see what he likes. I'll let him decide. He wasn't part of the show, so he should get a say in every single part of the thumbnail creative process. He picked the thumbnail, so he should pick the title as well. But yeah, guys, this was a fun show. I had fun. I was a little nervous because I wasn't fully ready for this, in case you guys couldn't tell. But
we could tell.
I couldn't tell. You were flawless, but you're always perfect in my eyes.
Thank you. You're the Emma to my Mad Cat, Will. Always gaslighting me in a positive way, even though I'm not going to be the first to pick.
It's not gaslighting if you're not gaslighting a 5-year-old when you tell them it's a beautiful picture and you hang it on the fridge. It's not gaslighting.
Positive reinforcement.
You could be if you're a piece of shit. Come on.
If you're gaslighting your 5-year-old, I want to kick you in the teeth.
Hey, people gaslight anybody they can. So I wouldn't put past somebody.
Oh, I
have no faith in humanity. Come on, man.
I have no faith in humanity.
Same here.
So while you're talking about, don't gaslight people, gaslight their 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I'm a retired fuckboy. I've gaslighted a lot of people. Gaslit.
That's proper.
Is
tense to use. Gaslit. Yeah. I've gaslit. Yeah. That sounds correct.
What other words do you really say with like a southern drawl? Now I'm kind of intrigued. Now, okay. What do you call? I like playing this game. I do this with people from here too, because like if you're from Pittsburgh, you got like a Pittsburghese accent. Like Pat, you can kind of hear in Pat McAfee talking. If he says like Dan, it's like DAHN. That's like Pittsburghese language. So what do you call the thing you color with? Not markers, not pens, but
a color pencil?
Not a color pencil. Smaller. Think smaller.
A crayon.
Crayon, yeah.
Oh, what?
A crayon.
Crayon.
Are you doing that on purpose? It sounds like you're saying crayon.
That's
a crayon. A crayon. A crayon. A crayon.
This is so fun. I love this game.
You're gonna find my all the words that they arch nemesis. You're like, that's why he doesn't ever fucking say these things.
He has a list of words that he doesn't say.
Hearing how people print things.
Oh,
Crayola crayons. Crayola.
Matt gave a thumbs up to Bang Bang Twins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he's just busy working because all he's been replying to is just thumbs up. So
why are you texting him?
What?
Why are you texting him?
Well, I need approval of what the title should be before I submit it to Travis.
I can only imagine how angry he is about still being at work at 1:00 in the morning on a Saturday.
It's actually 2:00.
You're living in the future.
Yeah,
Quit it, you fucking time traveler.
Yeah, Matt isn't in the future, so it's about to be 1:00 for him.
Brother.
Huh?
Who's Mario's brother?
Mario and Luigi.
Luigi.
Okay.
We talked about this in Allison's episode.
Luigi.
Luigi.
Yeah. I do have to sign off because I have to wake up early in the morning. Since we currently only have one car. So I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna end the broadcast unless you guys want to hang out. I think I'm able to
if you leave, we can literally still talk.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to go too. It's up way
say,
past my bedtime.
I'm honestly surprised Will's awake right now.
Yeah, it's because I asked him. I feel like if Matt and I ask him, he's like, sure, even if he's not prepared for it whatsoever.
I mean, I did it from like the ones. So
see,
came more prepared than me then, and I was the host.
I love you, but is there ever going to be a situation where you're like, I'm way more prepared for Will? Like, no, they're like, you don't take notes though. I've seen you, and I'm not saying that as a slight at all, Vince. I've seen you do a lot of shows. I've been with you on a lot of shows at this point now. Like, You're not a bring a notebook full of notes person. Like, you'll have things on your phone or like little things written down, but me and Katie will handwrite fucking love letters about why we loved matches.
Oh, it's in sections. Yeah. So I have spits, gargles, and swallows.
Bingo.
And then doodles.
Yeah.
Can I copy your notes?
Boom, boom, on all my doodles.
No. If you're going to copy my homework, change it a little bit.
That way I will. Know we're cheating.
Yeah.
They don't know we're cheating.
Matt will never know. But all right, I'll end the stream. Sayonara to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for joining in. Love all of you guys.
Dude.